Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Radharani Mataji, whenever you're ready, you can start, Mataji.
Okay, sure, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna to all dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 11. Swayambhu Manu advises Dhruv Maharaj to stop fighting. From the text 13. Text 13. The Lord is very satisfied with his devotees when the devotees greet other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. Text 14. One who actually satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead during one's lifetime becomes liberated from the gross and the subtle material conditions. Thus, being freed from all the material modes of nature, he achieves unlimited spiritual bliss. Text 15. The creation of the material world begins with the five elements, and thus everything, including the body of a man or a woman, is created of these elements. By the sexual life of man and woman, the number of men and women in this material world is further increased. Text 16. Manu continued, my dear King Dhruv, it is simply by the illusionary material energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and by the interaction of the three modes of material nature that creation, maintenance, and inhalation takes place. Text 17. My dear Dhruva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. He is the remote cause of the creation of this material cosmic manifestation. When he gives the impures, many other causes and effects are produced, and thus the whole universe moves, just as iron moves by the integrated force of a magnet. Text 18. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his inconvincible supreme energy, the time causes the interactions of the three modes of material nature, and thus varieties of energy becomes manifested. It appeared that he is acting, but he is not the actor. He is killing, but he is not the killer. Thus, it is understood that only by his inconvincible power is everything happening. Text 19. My dear Dhruva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is ever existing, but in the form of time, he is the killer of everything. He has no beginning, although he is the beginner of everything, nor he ever exhaustible, although everything is exhausted in due course of time. The living entities are created through the agencies of the Father and killed through the agencies of death, but he is the speculator free of birth and death. 20th. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his further of the eternal time, is present in the material world and neutral towards everyone. No one in his ally, and no one is his enemy within the juristic of the time elements. Everyone enjoys or suffers the result of his own karma or fruitive activity, as when the wind blows, small particles of dust flies in the air. So, according to one's particular karma, one suffers or enjoys the material life. Text 21. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is all powerful and he awards the results of one fruitive activities Thus, although one living entity's duration of life is very small, whereas that of the another is very great, he is always in his transcendental position, and there is no question of leasing or increasing his duration of life. Please. Text 22. The differentiation among the varieties of life and their sufferings and enjoyment is explained by some to be the results of karma. Others says it is due to the nature, others due to time, others due to fate, and still others say that is due to the desire. Text 23. The absolute 23 transcendence is never subject to the understanding of the imperfect sensory endeavor, nor is he subjected to the direct experience. He is the master of the varieties of energies like a full material energy, and no one can understand his plans or actions. Therefore, it should be concluded that although he is the original cause of all causes, no one can know him by the mental speculation. Text 24. My dear son, those yakshas who are descendants of Kuvera are not actually the killers of your brother. The birth and death of every living entity are caused by the Supreme, who is certainly the cause of all causes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mati, for reading the translation. And also thank you every day for sending the reminders and messages for us, and also scheduling all the devotees who are reading the translations.
Thank you for giving me this service. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Gopijana Priya, Mati, when are you ready, you can start, Mati.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Let's start with our brief prayers first. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurummilitamena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaprestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Pashyatade Shatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa Adi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for reading translations today. I'm sharing the screen. Visible, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, we can see it, Mati, yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So we are continuing to hear Guru Maharaj pastime. It's so beautiful. So as a continuation to that, we have heard how the Yakshas were freed away from the battlefield, seeing Dhruv Maharaj's great valor. And after they went, they did not come to Dhruv Maharaj to fight with him straightforward. Now they started creating so many illusions because they were not able to fight with him in the battlefield. So they are doing, using their mysticism, black arts. So they are creating so many illusions for Dhruv Maharaj. So at the time, we have seen that Dhruv Maharaj also got bewildered. And by the Supreme Lord arrangement, the great sages came and they reminded him of Narayana Astra. So as soon as he hits that, he fixes his Narayana Astra on his bow, and he started killing Yakshas. And he became free from all the illusions we heard. So like that in the purport, it is mentioned that for us, we also have our weapon, that is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So in order to become free from all the illusions that we are experiencing, so the immediate rescue and every time the appropriate response is chant Hare Krishna. Then when we do that, we also become free from such illusions. That's so beautiful. And Dhruv Maharaj again started killing Yakshas with his all prowess. Now Swayambhu Manu came, his grandfather, to stop Dhruva Maharaj, because he's killing so many yakshas without any discrimination, with great anger. So again, it's Supreme Lord arrangement that he has sent now his grandfather Swayambhu Manu, and he says that, oh my dear Dhruva, it is not befitting you, and for just one yaksha mistake, you are doing, you are killing so many yakshas, and which is not befitting your position as well as our family, because our family is supposed to know the religion and irreligion, because Manu, right? He's the first Manu, Swayambhu Manu, and you are born in such a great dynasty, in being Brahma as his great grandfather. So he has he's trying to stop him, saying that you are such a pure devotee, and also the pure devotees of the Lord, such as Narada Muni, have recognized you, and Lord is always thinking about you. And attaining Vaikuntha planet is not easy to achieve, but at the age of 5, you have taken the darshan of Supreme Lord Hari, and also you are destined to go to Vaikuntha planet. So please stop this fight, and be situated as yourself. So as continuation to that, Swayambhu Manu gives so many nice teachings, as well as the philosophical aspects, how to understand material energy, and also Supreme Lord inconceivable energies, how he is not partial, how he is equal to everyone. And because the living entities are suffering and enjoying, it is because of our own karma. And Supreme Lord doesn't interfere with that. So he has given so many philosophical aspects in this section. So 13th verse is so beautiful. Here, Swayambhu Manu is saying that, so how can we satisfy the Supreme Lord with our dealings? Bhagavan samprasidati. So when we exhibit the qualities of titikshaya, that is tolerance, karunya, compassion, Maitriya, that means that is friendliness, Samatvena, being equal to everyone, to all the living entities, then Supreme Lord is satisfied. So if you remember, Dhruva Maharaj got the same instruction from Narada Muni. How can, I think in the 8th chapter of 4th Canto, yeah, he says that when you meet the highly qualified people, you be pleased. When you meet lower qualified people than yourself, then be compassionate with them. Whereas when you meet equal qualification, be friendly with them. So we are seeing the same theme here. Swayambhu Manu is saying to Dhruva Maharaj, be tolerant with your superiors, even though they chastise you, you just tolerate with them and be respectful to them. And Karunya, be compassionate to the people who are junior to you. And Maitreya, be friendly with your peers. And with all other common people, show equanimity. See that everybody is part and parcel, they're servants of Supreme Lord. So here, so when we do that with the dealings with the people, with our seniors, juniors, with our equals, and with all other common people, then Supreme Lord will be very satisfied. Bhagavan samprasidati. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes that about the 3 stages of devotional life, that is Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama levels. So in the second stage, that is Madhyama, so the devotee is cognizant of his relationship with the Lord, and what is his relationship with his fellow devotees, and with the persons who are innocent. And also he knows that how to deal with envious people. So that is Madhyamadhikari, they do Prema, Maitri, Karunya, and Upeksha. And sometimes devotees are also ill-treated by envious people. And it is advised that devotees should be tolerant and he should show compassion to the innocent people and stay away from the envious people. Where that is Madhyama Adhikaris. And for Kanishta Adhikaris, they are simply concerned about deity worship in the temple according to rules and regulations. They don't have enough sastric knowledge, and also they don't deal with the people in connection to Supreme Lord. That's why they are at the Kanishta level. And whereas Uttama level, they see each and every living being as eternal servant of Lord. They don't see any differences. They have complete understanding and conviction that just that these material bodies are dresses and everybody is wearing different types of dresses. And they have that Pandita Samadarshana. They see all the living beings as children of God and they are eternal servants of Supreme Lord. They are Uttama level. So Supreme Lord will be pleased when we show these qualities, being tolerant, merciful, and friend to everyone, and be equal to everyone. So these are very, very nice qualities, Vaishnava qualities of a devotee. And then 14th verse, so one who actually satisfies the Supreme Lord, then he becomes liberated from these material conditions and he achieves unlimited bliss. Brahma Nirvanam Richati. So in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says that Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. So one who is equal to everyone and situate sincerely and engage in the devotional service, they become situated in the transcendence, right? So at the time they derive unlimited bliss. The same is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. I think it is 18.54. I'm trying to open that verse. Yeah, here. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktin labate param. So at the time, what happens? They will attain, in that state, they will attain pure devotional service unto me because they're cognizant that everyone is part and parcel and they have that equanimity towards all the living beings and they never lament or desire for anything. At that state, they attain spiritual bliss and by that, they can attain pure devotional service unto me. So here... yeah, if the same is explained, that Brahma Nirvanam Vichyati. So once the Supreme Lord is satisfied, so the as a devotees, we also get a lot of bliss. Because when Supreme Lord is satisfied, everybody else is satisfied, right? So yeah. And here Samprasanne is the word explained here, being satisfied. So when we see outside of bhaktas goal is always to satisfy Supreme Lord. So other than bhaktas, everyone wants to satisfy themselves. For example, karma yogis, they want to enjoy themselves grossly to satisfy their senses. And whereas jnanis, they want to satisfy themselves by mental speculation and thinking that they are themselves are God. And whereas yogis, they try to satisfy themselves by thinking that by attaining mystic perfections, siddhis. Whereas only devotees try to satisfy the Supreme Lord. So their process of realization is completely different from the other process that karmis, jnanis, yogis follow. And by working to please the Lord, by engaging our senses in the Lord's service, the devotee immediately situated in the transcendental platform. He enjoys unlimited blissful life. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. So text 15, here from here onwards, Swambhu Manu explains about the philosophical aspects about the material world, how jivas are suffering, and what is the inconceivable energy of the Supreme Lord. So those are coming up until 23rd verses. So here, Swambhu Manu is explaining that this material world is consists of all these 5 elements. It starts with 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, right? So whatever the body that we take, whether man, woman, animal, demigod body, astral body, aquatics, trees, so any body that, for that matter, those are created out of these 5 ingredients, earth, water, fire, air, ether. So how the population is increasing? By the sexual union of man and woman, it expands more and more to create more species of life. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes that Guru Maharaj understood the philosophy of the Vaishnavism, but he is dissatisfied because of his brother's death. So that's why Swayambhu Manu is explaining that this material world is created of all these 5 elements. And all the bodies are awarded with these 5 elements. And don't have that relationship, bodily relationship with your brother. And it is temporary. The bodies are temporary, right? And the spiritual soul, it is never annihilated or killed by anyone. And here, here further, Prabhupada writes that what my understanding is that Swayambhu Manu is trying to explain that don't just look at immediate cause, that is Yaksha killing your brother, that is only immediate cause. But whereas the intermediate cause is material nature, Prakrute Kremanani. So everything is created, maintained, and annihilated by the modes of nature. So who is the ultimate cause? Ultimate cause is the Krishna, because he says that Maya Dekshena Prakrute. Everything is happening under my direction. So here we can understand at 3 levels. Dhruva Maharaj is only looking at the immediate cause, that is, Yaksha killed my brother. Whereas all that orchestration, creation, annihilation, maintenance, everything is happening by modes of nature, that is Prakriti Kremanani, that is intermediate cause. Whereas who is the director of that Prakriti? He is Supreme Lord himself, Maya Dekshana Prakriti. That is ultimate cause. So Swayambhu Manu is explaining that understanding intermediate and ultimate cause of Uttama's death. And here 16th verse, Manu continues that it is Dhruva, it is simply by the illusory material energy of Lord, all this interaction of the modes, that is creation, maintenance, and annihilation, is taking place. That's all is happening by Supreme Lord, external energy, that is Maya. And here in the purport, Prabhupada writes that the creation takes place with these 5 ingredients, as mentioned in the previous verse, and how that interaction of the modes of material nature leads to maintenance also. Just like here, example is given when the child is born. So immediately we see the maintenance of that body, of that baby, right? Like that, Supreme Lord arranged that maintenance not only to human society, but also to animal society. For example, when the tiger gives a birth to cub, although the tiger propensity is to eat other animals, but tiger will not eat its own cub. It really takes care of them. It takes care of its maintenance, right? Like that, when the creation takes place, by the interaction of these material modes, the maintenance and annihilation also takes place. And creation is the action of Rajaguna, that is mode of passion. Maintenance is the action of Sattva Guna, and annihilation is the action of Tamoguna. And whoever is in the mode of goodness, they are very, very elevated personalities, and they can live long life than person who are in Tamoguna, than the people who are in Rajoguna. They can attain higher planetary systems, great rishis, sages, and sannyasis. But above that, above material goodness, which is a transcendental platform, that is Visuddha Tattva. Visuddha, that is pure goodness. So one who attain that pure goodness, they attain spiritual world. Prabhupada explains that beyond these material modes, there is pure goodness, and that is our goal. Text 18. So, material creation is explained how the 5 ingredients are, because of that material bodies are created. And after that, how the maintenance and annihilation also takes place. Now, it is explained in this verse that how Supreme Lord is transcendental. He is uncontaminated by these material modes, and he is the remote cause of all the creation. So he gives the impetus that causes that produces many causes and effects. And here Prabhupada explains that. So here the important word it is used is nimitta matram. That is, he is the remote cause. And Lord is not excited to create this material world. And the manifestation is happening because of the desire of the rebellious living entities who wants to lord over, who wants to be independent, who wants to be separately enjoying from Supreme Lord. So in order to fulfill their desires, in order to give an opportunity for their purification, so Supreme Lord is creating this material universe. But he's not excited. That's why he's nimitta matram. Here in the purport, Prabhupada writes that so how his external energy is acting is explained in this verse. And there are so many philosophers, atheistic people, they don't agree that Supreme Lord is the cause of this creation. And everything is happening just by chemical reactions, actions and reactions. But nobody can produce the life by such interactions of chemicals. Not even one cell living being they cannot create. So like that, there are 8,400,000 different species of life, and their desires and their actions are different. They're unlimited. So everything is happening because of the force, that is the material force is working under. Here, Prabhupada gives a suitable example here in this context, how a potter and the potter's wheel. So the potter is the original cause who makes so many pots out of the potter wheel. But there are so many other causes and effect also, how the pot comes out. We can make so many varieties of pots. But we cannot say that the potter is keeping a pot, because potter is different, and he's the original cause of making that pot. So here, that's why in Brahma Samhita it says that Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So Krishna is the original cause. So it can be so many other causes and effects in between, but Krishna is the original cause. Just like potter is the cause, original cause, in order to make a pot. Next 18. So his energies are inconceivable, and Lord, energies, different energies manifest by his energy, by time, and causes of interaction between the modes. So it is very inconceivable. Here it says that he's acting, but he is not the actor. He is killing, but he is not the killer. So it should be understood that by his inconceivable power, everything is happening. So Prabhupada writes very clear purport here. So the two words used here are Durvibhavya and Vibhakta Virya. Durvibhavya means inconceivable by our tiny brain, and Vibhakta Virya means his energies are divided into different potencies, right? So here, somebody may argue that because the energy, the material energy is also coming from the Supreme Lord, he is the actor, right? Because in the previous verse, we have seen that he is nimitta matra, he is the remote cause, right? But he is completely aloof. He's completely aloof from the action and reaction of this material world. So how to understand the energy is coming from the Supreme Lord himself, and he is aloof from this action and material and reactions of this material world, right? So how is everything being done? The word inconceivable has been used. That is Durvibhavya. It is not within our brain to understand, to comprehend how his inconceivable energies are acting. So, yeah. So Vishnu Purana is mentioned here. The examples are given like fire is situated in one place, and how the heat and light are produced by the fire act in different ways, right? Like that, Supreme Lord is aloof from the actions and reactions of this material world. And even though the energy, the source of that energy is from Supreme Lord himself, that is inconceivable, Durvibhavya. And another example is also given here, that the electric powerhouse. So it situates at one place, whereas by its energies, many different types of machinery move. Fridge, washing machine, we use stove. So different machinery will work, laptops, right? But the product is never identical with the source. But at the same time, the source is the cause of the product. That's why it is inconceivable. That's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. So we need to understand that energy, there is no difference between the energy and energetic, and also there is difference. That's why it is Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva, simultaneously one with the Lord, and it is different also. So Achintya means inconceivable. The similar word is used here is Durvibhavya. How these energies are acting are inconceivable to us, because we are minute. We cannot comprehend with our limited knowledge, not inconceivable, unlimited energies. In text 19, here Swambhu Manu is saying that Supreme Lord is Ananta, Antakara. Ananta is unlimited. He is the annihilator. He is the time. And Anad, Abhyayaha. He is without any derivation. And he is Anadi. His Anadi means he has no beginning, has no end. Adikrit. He is the beginning of everything. And it is like in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma also glorifies Supreme Lord Krishna that Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Manantarupam. You have unlimited forms, you have no beginning, and you are the beginning of everything. So, and Janam Janena Janyam, so by his father's agency of father, the living entities are created, and by the death, by the agency of death, they are killed. But he is free from all these, both the death. Yeah, here Krishna says that how this inconceivable power that can be understood little bit from this verse. So Krishna says that I am death in Bhagavad Gita. I will take away everything at the end of the life. And the example given here is touchstone. How he is Abhyayam. That when we use a touchstone, it can create so many valuable stones and jewels without decreasing its power. Touchstone is always touchstone. It is Chintamani. And similarly, when the creation occurs many times and maintained and annihilated, the original creator, Supreme Lord, he remains untouched. He remains undiminished in power. That's very beautiful. And 20th, Supreme Lord is saying, Swambhu Manu is saying that Supreme Lord, as his feature of eternal time, he's neutral to everyone. Nobody is his friend, nobody is his enemy. And under his jurisdiction of time, everybody enjoys, suffers based on their own karma. The purport Prabhupada writes that so Supreme Lord is the cause of all causes, even though he's not responsible for everyone material sufferings and enjoyment. He does not have any partiality. I want this person to enjoy. That's why I'll give him very nice position or nice body. I don't like this person. I will give a demon body or animal body. He does not have such partiality. Supreme Lord is equal to everyone. And but less intelligent people, they don't understand that. They think that Lord is partial. Somebody's enjoying, but I'm not enjoying, I'm suffering. But here in this verse, it is clearly said that there is no such partiality to the Supreme Lord, and everybody is his part and parcel, and he loves them, he loves everyone. So here, yeah. So in this material world, the misguided living entities create their own karma. By that they create their own fortune or misfortune, and everyone is created, everyone is maintained, and everyone is ultimately killed. So as far as these three things concerned, Lord is equal to everyone. Everyone is getting created, everyone is being maintained, and everyone is ultimately killed. And he gives the facilities to all the people, and he arranges food, all the necessities. But for those who performs their own karma, fruitive activities, the resultant is either enjoyment or suffering. It is depending on completely on the individual living being. So that's why here the word is used anisaha. That means that depending on their own karma, they enjoy or they suffer. Nobody can blame God for this. And 21 verse, Supreme Lord Vishnu is all powerful, and he awards the results of one fruitive actions. Okay, one has done some fruitive activities. Supreme Lord awards the results based on their own karma. And for example, here the living entity example is given. Mosquito has such a short duration, whereas Lord Brahma has very long lifetime. But how they are given their lifetime? Because they based on their results of their karma, Supreme Lord awards their life. And in Brahma Samhita, it is said that karmani niddhati, means that Lord diminishes the reactions of the devotees. So as soon as one takes up devotional service, so they are Lord is personally taking care of their vanquishing the reactions of their karma. And Krishna has given instruction here in Bhagavad Gita how to perform karma. Ignardat karma nonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadardam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. So when we perform action only for the purpose of satisfying the Supreme Lord, then we become free from reactions. Our actions only to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Then we are not bound by such actions and reactions. And 22nd verse. So why we are seeing the differentiation among varieties of life and their different species of life is there, and they're enjoying and suffering. So here different philosophers says different things. Some say that it is because of the karma, some say that it is due to nature, some say it is due to time, and some philosophers say that it is due to fate, and some others still say that it is due to desire. And Prabhupada writes very profound statements here that there are so many philosophers. So their philosophy is incomplete, imperfect, because they say that it is material world. Because of the material world, different varieties of life is created. Some say that it is due to time. And here the important thing is that the living beings have desire. They cannot be desireless. Whether it is conditioned state or liberated state, the symptom of the living entity is to have desire. So what desires that we have? It is what it decides. So when the living entities wants to have a desire to enjoy separately from the Lord, then they are thrown to this material world in order to satisfy their desires. Narottam Das Thakur says that because whenever when we turn the desire towards the serving the Supreme Lord instead of enjoying ourselves, then our desire becomes purified. And once it becomes purified, that is free from material contamination, then we can go back to Godhead, where we have eternal life. And the real explanation is that maybe there can be many philosophers, many theories, but the real explanation is that everybody is servant of God, eternal servant of God. Because we forget our relationship, we are thrown here. and because of which we are performing many activities that leads to enjoy or suffer. So when we turn that desire unto Supreme Lord, so by purifying our desires, by engaging in devotional service, then we don't have to suffer here in this material world, and we don't have to take different forms and conditions in this material world. And 23rd, absolute truth. So how can anyone can understand the absolute truth? Because there are so many philosophies and so many theories, and his energies are inconceivable. So how can anybody can understand Supreme Lord? It is not at all possible by mental speculation. So Dr. Frog, Prabhupada used the word for mental speculators that they're Dr. Frog. Story is that whenever the frog within the 3-foot well, if he wants to calculate the length and breadth of the Atlantic Ocean on basis of his limited knowledge, it is impossible task. It is never going to happen. So like that, the person, he can be maybe very good scholar, professor, academic, but he cannot speculate the absolute truth. So how one can understand? It is only by bhakti. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. So one who renders service unto Supreme Lord, he reveals himself. He gives dadami buddhi yogam tam. He gives the intelligence by which one can understand Lord and one can attain Lord. So this is given in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, so that one can cross over this material nescience and come back home, back to Godhead. So in conclusion, Supreme Lord cannot be understood by philosophical speculation. He reveals himself to his devotee because he surrenders unto his lotus feet. Just like the example is given here in this purport, if the person wants to see the sun on the cloudy days or in the night time, so if he goes and demands sun, okay, you come out, I want to see you, sun will not come out. If he takes his torch light in the night and go and light towards the sun, towards the sky, now I can see the sun. No, you cannot. It is possible you can see the sun only he comes out on his will. Otherwise, we cannot see sun. So as soon as sun comes out, as soon as Lord reveals himself to us, then we can see sun, we can see God, we can see ourselves, and we can see everybody around us. So that is Bhakti Yoga. And 24th, here Swayambhu Manu says that, so that's why, my dear child, do not think that Yaksha is the killer of your brother Uttama. And the birth and death of every living entity are caused by Supreme, who is certainly the cause of all causes. He is the original cause. That's the last verse for today. Thank you so much for your association and opportunity. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Madhu. Wonderful class, Madhu. Hare Krishna.